Hello and welcome back to T-Moe's World. This is week 12 of season 3 in 2025 and we are at Okyama International Circuit, the full course. You can see it on the screen now. This track is also contained in the base content of the game, so it is well known to many drivers. And I also had several races here with the Mazda MX-5 or the Formula V. And so I decided now to take my chances in the GT3 challenge by Fanatex. I am driving the Porsche 911 GT3 R. This is only the second time that I'm participating in GT3 races. The first time was back in season 2 with Acura at Sebring International. I will put the link to the video of these races in the description. So now at the end of season 3 I'm trying to improve my GT3 driving a bit. As you might know, I'm also a bit fed up of the rookie races. So I'm intending to drive more GT3 in the next season. So what better than a bit of practice at the end of this season. In total I did 7 races. And I will show you the highlights and the lowlights of some of these races right after the intro. Let's begin with my second race. I will not show you the first race, it was rather unspectacular, gained a little bit of safety rating and I finished on position 14, which cost me 40 I rating. So fingers crossed that this race will be more successful. And here we go. I was really happy how that start went. I started on 5 and made it immediately to position 3. Everything is going quite well so far. In front of me, John and Anders are fighting for pole position and John wins that fight for now. Meanwhile, the guy behind me spins on his own, causing some chaos. The race still was going quite well for me. I felt quite comfortable with a 1.5 second gap behind me and the driver behind me until this happened. As you can see, I almost lost control in that corner. And there goes the gap to Carl. In situations like these, you really have to focus on the race and not think too much about what just happened. Otherwise, you would slow down and clearly be overtaken by the guy behind you. But here I managed to keep him behind me, at least for the time being. Jumping ahead to lap 5, you can see there's a back marker coming out of the pits. And let's hope he's not in the way too much, because Carl is still close behind. That slowed me down a little bit, and now Carl is again right behind me. Two laps later, nothing has changed other than that now Carl is trying to scare me into a mistake, showing himself in my rearview mirror. But he seems to be a very patient driver, and thankfully he is not making any dive bombs here. A few laps ahead, you can see the next back marker is in the way. Let's see how this goes. So fortunately he got out of the way pretty quick, still making me lose half a second, and again Carl is coming closer. Again jumping ahead a few laps into lap 12. You can see that John, who was on pole, must have had an incident losing his pole position to Anders. John regained his composure real quick, so he was already back at race pace, leaving me no chance to overtake him here. Jumping ahead to the end of lap 14, the final corners, you can see nothing has happened, and I finished on 3rd position. So what does it do to my ratings? I gained only very little safety rating, as I must have had 2 off tracks, I think, but 73 iRating gain due to my 3rd place. So let's get on to the next races. Okay, this is race number 4, skipping race number 3, as that was also not too eventful. I lost a tiny bit of safety rating and gained some iRating with position 7. And now here I qualified on position 6. And here we go. So far so good. You can see already 2 cars in front of me were spinning out, which gave me position 4. So I was quite happy with that start. In lap 4 you can clearly see the driver in front of me is a bit slow. I bumped him a little bit, then I had to brake, was bumped myself, and a lot of other cars gathered behind me. With all that bumping, I made a little mistake myself, got on the grass, which cost me a little bit of time, enabling the other Porsche to overtake me. And then this happened. I just lost my focus, lost my control. But luckily that one driver hit my car and made it straight again, so I could continue my race, however now with 4X. In lap 5 I was pressured by this grey Porsche, left the door a little bit too wide open and not giving him the room he needed, resulting in a spin and lots of cars coming my way, making contact with me, and so at least 4 more incident points. And with that, I had enough of this race. I rage quitted, jumped to the box. I would not finish that race. I was too angry, I admit. And that really cost me a lot, as you can see. So let's forget about this one. On to the next. For race number 5, I managed to qualify on position 4. The safety car drives into the pits, so let's hope that I can pull off a good start here. Really a good start so far. I lost, I think, 1 or 2 positions, but gained another one as one driver ahead had an incident. Nevertheless, I'm still alive, no incident points so far, but keep awareness high. This is still a very dense field of racers. The guy ahead lost control. I can avoid to crash into him, but I recognized I had 2 incident points. So let's take a look what happened here. Really, there was no contact made. Let's look again. It is close, but no physical contact. Anyway, 2 incident points. And the best is, with this contact from that other driver here, these 2 incident points increased to 4 incident points. So that really pissed me off, I must say. I think iRacing could and should improve the calculation of incident points in such situations. Anyway, I'm still on position 3, jumping ahead to lap 3. Take a close look to the driver in front of me. He just vanishes. He must have lost his internet connection. So, with that, I'm on position 2. I'll take it. And that's basically it for this race. Nothing else happened. After 14 laps, I finished on position 2, my best result so far, gaining lots of I rating, but only very little safety rating due to these 4X Otherwise, that would have been the perfect race with 0 incident points. Okay, next try. Race number 6. Starting again from position 4. Can we have the perfect race now? Let's see. Really nice, clean and tight racing here in the first corners of the race. I could keep my position. I'm still alive. So far, so good. With the first lap in the books, the tires not yet fully warmed up, let's keep a look on Alexander, the driver, on position 1. That is really the worst place he could have parked his car in. I fortunately was already past him when he drove back on track. So I was not at all affected by this, as I will show you in a second. While Alexander is losing his car again, I think he's damaged, and that's his race. Here you can see how close it was when I passed him. So I'm still on position 3, let's keep the fingers crossed. Jumping ahead to lap 8, I will show you quickly what Malte's race does. He crashes into another car. Let's see how this happened. You can see he had absolutely no chance to avoid that crash. And this is what happened to the driver he crashed into. He loses control, then waits, and at the wrong point in time decides to drive backwards. Skipping ahead to lap 11, you can see that Malte now is in front of me as a back marker, but overtaking him was no problem. He left enough space for me and also for Marcos right behind me. If you might have noticed, Marcos is behind me since the very beginning of the race. I think we have equal pace. And jumping ahead to lap 14, Marcos still behind me, now a little bit under pressure from the guy behind him. And there he goes off track, and that is enough to make the other driver overtake him. And just like that, we end the last corner of the race. And this indeed was a perfect race. 0 incident points for me. Position 3, so quite a lot of safety rating and I rating gained. Can I do it again? That is the question. So one last race coming up right now. For race number 7, we will do things a little bit different, as very much will happen now in the first turn. Let's freeze frame and go over the cars one by one. First of all, the red car will now dive in between myself and the other driver. He will bump me and I will get an off track here. That car in front of me will cut the corner a little bit and spin, make the other car spin as well. And last but not least, the first driver will spin totally on his own. So let's see how that plays out. You can see how chaos evolves. I'm off track, not able to avoid contact here, which gave me 4x. I think that one car is really parked in a bad spot, causing lots of slowdowns and contacts, allowing me, however, to rejoin the track quite safely and continuing my race. Two more drivers out of the race for the time being. And we jump ahead to lap 2. The guy in front of me was really slow and I overtook him here and then he vanished. But then he came back and vanished again and came back again. So that was a distraction, that was too much for me. And I had an off track, lost 2 places again. However, I made it to lap 11 with a Porsche being close behind me. And since I had enough incidents in this race, I really had no fight left in me, so I let him pass. In lap 13, I spun the car totally on my own. And there I realized this wasn't my race. So 2 more X's here. Then I couldn't avoid touching this driver, which gave me another 2 incident points. So I am now at least having 8 incident points. I think I finished the race with 9 incident points, with another off track somewhere. And then only at 14th position. So you can imagine, again, another loss with safety rating and I rating. And with that, I called it quits. 7 races with this car and track combination was enough for me. In spite of all the ups and downs, I really enjoyed these races and driving the Porsche and getting to know the GT3 races a little bit better. So I will be back next season with GT3s or GT4s for sure. Until then, have fun, have a good time, bye bye.